You don't need fucking motivation. You need this instead. What I'm about to take you through in this very podcast or video, whatever it is you're consuming right now. This will change your life. If you're someone who, quote, lacks motivation, or you need motivation to do things, this is what's going to solve it for you. You don't need motivation. So please pay attention. Take some notes if you want to. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lewis Huckstep. I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, and I help people find their life's purpose, heal their trauma and limitations, and create a life that they love, a life on their terms, a life that you're inspired by in your relationships, in your business or your career, your health, and your finances. So, with that being said, let me break this down. This quote pretty much puts it together the best. The need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. Listen to that again. The need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. If you need motivation or you require external forces to get you to do something, it's because it's not actually aligned with who you truly are or what you truly want. Your goals, your vision, your purpose, your mission, your values. So, I'm actually going to share my screen. So if you're not watching the video of this podcast, highly recommend doing it. So, most people have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you're not watching the video, that's what I've got on my screen right now. So, down the bottom layers, you've got your psychological needs, your safety needs, your belonging and love needs. And then these main three, it kind of tips into the next category a little bit, the esteem needs, but especially the bottom three. These are all based around motivation, pain and pleasure drivers. You've probably heard that before if you've done any form of self-development. The main two drivers for human beings is pain and pleasure. Get out of pain and gain pleasure. So the bottom parts of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is very much based around pain and pleasure drivers. That's what, quote, motivation is. Now, motivation does work until it doesn't. I'll use my journey as an example. If you guys don't know my journey, I got diagnosed with Asperger's, autism, ADHD. I had a lot of trauma growing up in my upbringing, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I also was very insecure. And I had learned or downloaded beliefs, and I had this trauma, which I wasn't aware with at this time, but I'd learned that I need to achieve external things to prove to the world that I'm enough. So the driver for me at that point was pain of me feeling insecure and feeling not enough, and then the pleasure of getting approval from my dad. That was essentially my motivations in a nutshell. But the thing is that works, and it does work, but it doesn't actually fill the void. You're trying to fill an internal void with something external. It doesn't work like that. It becomes a mirage of success where you have whatever goals you have, insert your goals, and you'll say, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when. And if you're anyone like me, and you're maybe in this or you've done this before, you'll know it never scratches the itch. It's a thirst that you will never quench if you're using this strategy. Because instead of using, quote, motivation as a fuel source long term, what I suggest doing is using inspiration. Inspired action. If you look at the word inspiration and inspire, it's in spirit. So it's in alignment with who you truly are. Remember that quote I used at the start? The need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. Did anyone need to motivate me to make this video right now? Absolutely fucking not. Did anyone have to motivate me to write my book? Absolutely not. Did anyone have to motivate me to post content, to run events, to coach people the way that I coach them now? Absolutely not. I'm inspired to do that. Now, did I use, quote, motivation at the start to get started? Absolutely. And for 99% of people, that's what you're going to use to get started. Use what you've got. That's what you got to do at the start. If it's fuck you dad, fuck you mum, fuck you world, I'm going to prove to you guys that I am enough, use what you've got. But the thing with that fuel source is it's very toxic internally because it's something you never arrive at. It's the quench you will never, it's the thirst you will never quench. You will never be satisfied if that's your fuel source. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I did this for like 23 years of my life, 24 years of my life, where I just learned I have to achieve external things to be enough, to be worthy, to not get shamed, to not be insecure, to not be put down. So if you're saying, I need motivation, maybe you do. Maybe you just need to kick up the ass. Maybe. Who knows? But my invitation to you is you don't need fucking motivation. You need inspiration. You need to get clear on who the fuck are you? What actually lights you up? What actually fulfills you? I know it gets thrown around a lot, the term. Who is the authentic version of you? My definition of that, I've got two definitions of your authentic self. Number one is you live into your values. Now, I talk about values a lot in my content. It's one of my pieces of my method. Values are areas of life that intrinsically fulfill you. A lot of people think values are things like behaviors and character traits, control, certainty, honesty, integrity, freedom, things like that. Those are not values in my books. Those, because most people use the term, I say they're human values. I refer to soul values. Your soul's values are the areas of life that fulfill you intrinsically. You're inspired to do it. You think about it. You get energized by doing it. You talk about it. You think about it. You focus on it. You get energized by it. You're inspired by it. No one has to motivate you to do it. You're spontaneously inspired to do those things. It's like today, I just ran a 3-day event. Just finished it yesterday. Really inspired to do that. And it's like, had scheduled a day off just not to have any calls on, just to recharge. And I'm like, what would I be inspired to do today? Film content, film a podcast, work with clients, work on the next event. It's like no one had to motivate me to do it. I'm inspired to do it because my highest value is coaching. My purpose is to heal and raise consciousness. So these actions are aligned with my values, my purpose, my vision. So if you are lacking motivation or you're needing motivation to do things, please, please, please get clear on who the fuck you are. Get clear on your soul's values. Get clear on your life's purpose. Get clear on what your vision for your life is. And the reason I do values and purpose first, because most people don't know who they are, and they just start writing down like visions and goals, which is better than nothing. But if you aren't being the true version of you, and you're being number two of someone else, if you set goals from that space where you're trying to be number two of someone else, you're setting goals that aren't yours. One of the most common clients or avatars or types of people that come to me to work with me are people that are kind of in their like sort of mid-30s and beyond, to be honest. Now, I do have younger studs and queens and ladies that come through, like 18-year-olds that come through, but my most common clients are around the sort of mid-30s onwards, 40s even. Oldest client I've had, I think, is 70. And one of the most common themes that I've seen with my clients now, I've coached over 6,000 people. One of the most common themes that I have with clients are people who don't know who they are. They never got taught. Remember this part as well. Whenever you hear the words, you have to, you ought to, you got to, you should, you must, you're supposed to, you can't do this, you have to do this. Words like that. Someone is projecting their values or their beliefs onto someone else. Mainly your parents do this. Society does this. Religion does this. Social media does this. Your partner may do this. Your friends may do this. When in reality, you don't have to do jack shit. You don't have to be listening to this video right now. No one's got a gun to your head to listen to this video. The reason you're listening to this video right now is because at some level, it's going to be fulfilling your values. You may have a high value on learning. So do I. It's my third value. You may have a high value on consciousness, on business, on money, on relationships, whatever reason you're listening to this video, it will be hitting your values at some level. So my invitation to you, get clear on what your values are. Get clear on what your purpose is. Get clear on what fulfills you. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish off my train of thought. So a very common client of mine are people who don't know their values. They don't know who they are. They're trying to be someone that they're not, trying to be number two of someone else, listen to someone else's projections, the shoulds, have to, ought to, got to, must, all those things. And they listen to them and they end up going down a career or a business and building a life that they think they should and they have to and they ought to and they got to and they're supposed to. And then they get to the age kind of around 35 and beyond, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And they have a bit of a midlife crisis. It's a very common term in Australia. I'm not sure if you guys use that in your country, but we use that term a lot. Because they've been spending their whole life up until this point trying to be someone that they're not. Interesting. Low self-worth is feedback you're not living to your values. You're not living to your purpose. You're not living in alignment with your mission and your vision. So, when you know your values, when you know your purpose, when you know your mission, your vision, you don't need fucking motivation. I'm so inspired to do what I do. Now, are there times where there's things I don't necessarily want to do? Like, I'm not that administrative based. Like I don't really enjoy my emails. I don't really enjoy like the automations and systems and shit of my business. I do that, and I do it because it's part of the mission. It's part of the plan. But all of that action is within alignment of where I want to go. I don't need motivation to do what I do. No one motivates me to learn. No one motivates me to coach. No one motivates me to spend time with my relationships that are meaningful to me. No one motivates me to invest my money into assets to make me more money. No one motivates me to do things that are meaningful to me. So you don't fucking need motivation. You need inspiration. And I'm projecting my values onto you because I said need. I would encourage you, if you want more direction, more fulfillment, more energy, more consistency, more focus, more follow through, more discipline, more reliability, is find your values, find your purpose, get clear on your mission and vision. I do all of that in my book. Go grab a copy of my book if you want. It's like $1 or $2 on Kindle or Audible. It's on Amazon. Grab the hard copy if you want to. Come work with me. I got a free trial and a free call with me in the comments below. Grab that if you want. But get clear on what they are. And build a life where you get to live out your values. Like my whole business is, like my book is called The Inspired Life Method. How do you build a life that inspires you? How do you do that? I'll run through the steps quickly. Get clear on your values and purpose, your mission and vision. That's pretty much what I've been talking about most of this podcast. Get clear on what they are. So that's who you authentically are. And that's truly authentically what you're inspired by and you're pulled towards. Fantastic. Then we get clear on a plan. What's the master plan for you to actually fulfill it? So you have the clarity and the tactics. Because as much as I'm talking about like sort of personal inner work and purpose and values and sort of fluffier stuff, I'm also a very practical person. I'm all about systems and processes and planning and action. And I'm not about like just, quote, manifesting your dreams by meditating and thinking about a Lamborghini. It doesn't really work like that. You're still going to take action in this world that we live in. So it's get clear on who you are, your authentic self, your soul's values, your soul's purpose, your mission, your vision. Then we get clear on a plan with a vehicle to get you there. So from where you are to where you want to be, how much money do you need to earn to live that dream life, to live your vision? Then let's get clear on a vehicle. What vehicle is going to take you from where you are to where you want to be? A vehicle that allows you to have the impact, the income, and the lifestyle of your vision. Most commonly, it's probably going to be a business if you truly want to express your vision. Some of you can do it through a career, and that's totally fine. You might buy assets and do it that way. That's fine. But get clear on the vehicle for you to have the income, impact, and lifestyle that inspires you. And then you put it into a plan, and we break those goals from 3 years to 2 years to 12 months to quarter to monthly to weekly to daily goals. I've literally got my goals in front of me. One of them was to film a podcast. Here I am. And then the third point, or third pillar of my work, is inner work. Because a lot of you, or it may be you right now, you may know what to do, but you're not doing what you know. So you've got the skills, but you're not doing anything with it. That's where there's something internally, mentally, emotionally, energetically blocking you. That's where limiting beliefs and trauma and emotional blocks come into it. Because success in anything is 80% mindset, 20% skill set. So yes, we get clear on the skills and the plan and the tactics and the strategies. You got to have that. You don't want to be running east looking for a sunset, as Tony Robbins says. We want to have a clear plan with the right action items, with the high leverage strategy tactics to achieve the things you want to achieve. But then you need to remove those limitations. I'm not enough. I'm too much. No one loves me. Life is hard. Money is evil. I'm not good with money. I'm not good with relationships. No one loves me. All those beliefs, and then all of your trauma. Because your trauma, which is a trait or a behavior that was too much or not enough, your trauma will trigger you. And your trauma creates coping mechanisms. And then you will get triggered. And you'll shame yourself. And you'll have sabotaging patterns. You'll hit glass ceilings. That's all part of trauma. That's all part of inner work. So we want to remove those limitations. It's called the theory of constraints, and I actually got it from Alex Hormozi. But he talks about it in a business sense, but I'll wrap this podcast up with this topic because I think it's really interesting. The theory of constraints says that a business will grow to its lowest constraint, but it also works for humans as well. Let me explain. So the theory of constraints in a business could look like this. Say your marketing in your business was a 10 out of 10. You're really good at your marketing, your branding, it's all on point. Well done. Say your sales is a 10 out of 10. You're really good at closing sales. You're really good at the sales process. You're a 10 out of 10 at sales. Well done. Say your product, the thing you're actually selling, was a 1 out of 10. So you're selling something that's shit, essentially. What you're selling is shit, is the polite way to put it. The product or the thing you're selling is the bottleneck, is the constraint. That's the constraint. The thing you're selling is shit. Fix what you're selling. Most people in that exact circumstance try to get their marketing to a 15 out of 10. That's not the constraint. The constraint is that your service sucks, your product sucks, the thing you're selling sucks. Fix that, and then you will grow to the next constraint. Because when you fix a constraint, your business will grow to the next one. It might be fulfillment. It might be automating. It might be delegating. It might be team. It might be leadership. Who knows? You'll figure out once you fix that constraint. But here's an extra layer to this concept. The theory of constraints doesn't just work for businesses, it works for people. You will grow to your lowest constraint. It will either be a skill set, like we said, success is 80% mindset, 20% skill set. So your life will grow to your lowest constraint. It will be a skill set of yours. Marketing, selling, communicating, setting boundaries, health, fitness, whatever it is, whatever the constraint is, or it will be an internal block of yours, something internal. It's either a skill set or it's you. You includes your beliefs, includes your trauma, includes your blocks, it includes you not being yourself, you're not living to your values and your purpose. Those will be the only reasons you are not moving forward in life. Why you're, quote, not motivated, why you're not achieving the things you want to achieve, why you're not making the money you want to make, why don't have the relationship you want to have, you don't have the intimacy and sex you want to have. Whatever constraint you have in life boils down to these two things. It's either a skill set you're missing some skills, go learn the skills, or there's something within you that's blocking you. You're quite blocking your own success. You get in your own way. You hit glass ceilings, you sabotage yourself, whatever language you want to use. There's something within you that's sabotaging you from breaking through. The aim of the game is to find where your constraints are right now. Where are your constraints? Is it skills? Is it you just don't know how to market? You don't know how to sell? You don't know how to make content? You don't know how to whatever? You don't know how to run ads? Obviously, I'm using a lot of business examples, but insert whatever area of life that you want to improve on. Maybe you don't know anything about macros. You don't know about protein. You don't know about training if your health is the challenge. So figure out the skills. The thing is, the skills are the easier part. Literally, ChatGPT will probably give you a pretty solid answer of where to start. The bigger challenge is the internal stuff. It's your unconscious blocks, your trauma, your limiting beliefs, all of those things. That's actually my favorite conversation, internal work. Inner work, like people ask what I do. If I only had to pick one thing, I'm a transformation coach. That's what I do. I help people find their purpose. I do all these other things. But if I could only pick one, it would be transformation. I help people transform into the highest, best version of who they are by removing the limitations that are stopping you or the constraints stopping you from being that greatest expression of who you are. When what you do is the fullest expression of who you are, you will do your life's best work. So I'm going to wrap this up. You don't fucking need motivation. You may need it at the start to get started, but trust me, it's not going to last long term. And if it does, you're going to be very burnt out. Your nervous system is going to be very dysregulated. You're going to be very unfulfilled. And you're going to be pretty fucking miserable, just to be real with you. I did that for a long time. You don't need motivation. You need inspiration. Find what you truly love, your authentic self, your values, your purpose, your mission, your vision. Remove those internal blocks and things that are stopping you from pursuing that. And then, yes, get the skills of what needs to be done to execute. Put that all together. You won't lack motivation. I guarantee you that. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you got value from this. Please, I'd love to serve you in whatever way it is, whether you grab a copy of my book, The Inspired Life Method. It's on Amazon, Audible, Kindle. Whether you come work with me, you can grab a free trial to my coaching, and it comes with a one-on-one call with me. The links are all down below. I'd love to serve you. I also run in-person events if you ever want to come to the Gold Coast and hang out with me. I love you. I appreciate you. Please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up if you believe it deserves it. And share it with a friend. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Bye.